tell you one thing, Democrats have just lost touch. I mean, we used to know Democrats as the working man's party. You know, they used to support the unions. And now when you think of Democrats, it's old people that are essentially lizards who have just been in the party way too long, and they've catered to a progressive base which most of the country doesn't agree with, and they continue to embrace that ideology, which, you know, I'm fine with, because, you know, the American people have shown they don't agree with that ideology and they've rejected it in mass. However, you know, Democrats don't want to learn that lesson. They're just going to continue to lose. I mean, you had the congressional address the other night, and their idea of a protest is to just stand there with ping pong paddles with signs on it that just say lies. Okay. I thought they were going to walk out. The only Democrat that had any balls, and, you know, I say this, was Al Green. And I'm not a fan of his. I mean, the guy just stood there and shouted for the first 4 minutes until he got thrown out. You know, it was just a performance. That's all it was. Because that's everything the Democrats do now. You know, it's all performative. They don't have any power. They lost the presidency. They lost the House. They lost the Senate. Well, I don't think they really had the House to begin with. It was close. So, what do they got? They don't got nothing. And that's why they hate Doge and Elon Musk so much, because, you know, they're showing all the fraud, the waste and abuse. You know, we've got a real spending problem here in America. And if we want anything to change, you know, cuts have to be made. But, you know, before I get too far off topic, I mean, the congressional address, I mean, they couldn't even stand and clap for Laken Riley and her family. You know, kind of disgusting. At least be respectful. They wouldn't stand for the boy that was inspired by his father to join the service, got accepted to West Point. They wouldn't stand for that. They wouldn't stand for probably one of the more touching stories, DJ Daniels, the 13-year-old boy who survived cancer, brain cancer, had 13 surgeries. Wouldn't stand for him, and his dream in life is to just be recognized by as many law enforcement agencies as possible, and he was made an honorary Secret Service agent. Wouldn't stand for him, wouldn't honor him. And then you had journalists, and I hesitate to say the word journalists, attack a 13-year-old cancer survivor and just insult him and say that she hopes he doesn't live to survive to become like one of the Capitol law enforcement officers to commit suicide. Okay, what the heck's up with that? I mean, if you don't agree, then, you know, whatever, just shut your mouth and go on. But to attack a kid like that survived cancer, I don't know, it's just disgraceful in my opinion. You know, Democrats have just lost touch, man. And then you have Democrats like Gavin Newsom to think that, you know, they're going to launch a podcast and then somehow in 4 years' time that's going to gain Democrats traction, when, you know, it's been proven time and time again that, you know, when Democrats aren't performative and they aren't doing something that's scriptive, you know, it's actually gone worse in their favor. But hey, I mean, if they want to continue to do out of touch, cringe stuff that's just going to cost them in the long run, then go ahead. don't learn your lesson. Just continue to show the American people that we're frauds. America's largely rejected the progressive policies. I don't have an issue with people being trans, but I don't believe you should force that on kids. I'm willing to work with you to some degree. You shouldn't have biological males in female sports. If trans people want to have trans leagues, have trans leagues. Have trans people compete against other trans people. But when you have a biological man in all female sport, how's that fair? Like me and my wife just had our first baby this year, little baby girl, and I couldn't imagine growing up, see her play sports, and to just lose to a biological male. Just taking women's spaces. Women fought years for their spaces, and then you're just going to give it up to a biological male and fight all over again for it? Doesn't sound right to me, but whatever. You have a large percentage of Democrats, progressives, who are female and support this, so I don't know. Everything's kind of flipped now. But, let's go America first. Support Donald Trump and largely support his policies, and we'll see where things go. All right, thank you.